So apparently the Phoenix Suns want to pay everyone, but not Deandre Ayton. So we need to talk about this. I'm going to do a full recap tonight on all extensions that have not been made to players on the last year of their rookie deal. But ultimately now Landry Shamet has been extended for 4 years at $43 million. Mikal Bridges was also extended at what I believe was 4 years at $90 million. But Deandre Ayton and the Phoenix Suns are not going to be able to agree to an extension before tonight's deadline. So ultimately, Deandre Ayton is going to end up being a restricted free agent next summer. Mikal Bridges is now locked up. Chris Paul has been re-signed. Devin Booker, of course, is locked up. And now Landry Shamet, who hasn't even played a game for the Phoenix Suns, is now locked up long-term, signing a 4-year contract extension. So, question is, why have Phoenix decided to lock up Mikal Bridges and Landry Shamet? Why have they decided not to lock up DeAndre Ayton on a max contract? Because ultimately that is why he hasn't been signed, is because Phoenix won't offer him that. DeAndre Ayton thinks he deserves it. And fair enough, because is he a max level player? Right now, no. But someone will give him a max. If it's not Phoenix, someone else will on an offer sheet next summer. So ultimately, what's the thought process here for Phoenix? Mikal Bridges, I think, was good to lock up. You need good wing defenders in today's NBA. He's a very good one. He's a positive player on the offensive end, and I think still has a lot more upside on the offensive end. Sure, we don't see it as much right now because Chris Paul and Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton are doing their thing on the offensive end. But Mikal Bridges is extremely efficient, has a bit of a midi, can shoot from deep, can attack the rim a little bit, very athletic. I think has more upside on the offensive end as well, and I think we'll see more of that once Chris Paul is no longer a member of this team. So I think that's a good extension. Landry Shamet, 4 years, $43 million for this team. To bring in someone like him when they haven't even seen him play for their own team yet, for someone who's coming off the bench is interesting. I like Landry Shamet as a player. I think he'll fit well on this team. I think they did need better depth at the 2. That was their position of least depth. And he has been good on several good teams throughout his NBA career when he's talking about the Clippers and Brooklyn over the last couple of years. And so ultimately, he knows how to shoot the 3. He can space the floor for you, which is something that is always valuable, and obviously something that the Phoenix Suns are valuing as well. So ultimately, he's locked up now long term. You might see him be more of a backcourt mate with Devin Booker long term, but of course, all ideally, you'd like Devin Booker to be at the 2 and not at the 1. But now DeAndre Ayton remains to be the odd man out. Mikal Bridges extended. Landry Shamet extended. Chris Paul was re-signed. But DeAndre Ayton remains untouched. He will be a restricted free agent at the end of this upcoming season. So ultimately, for me, I do think DeAndre Ayton will remain a member of the Phoenix Suns. I do think they're just going to go significantly into the luxury tax and commit to this group. Because it's possible that Chris Paul does get moved at some point in time in his contract, or if not, then once his contract does expire, ultimately, he's not going to get another long-term deal past that 4 years if he's even in the league at that point once that deal expires. Ultimately, if they have Devin Booker, DeAndre Ayton, Mikal Bridges, Landry Shamet, and that core of DeAndre Ayton, Mikal Bridges, Devin Booker, Landry Shamet, if that's their 4 guys that they want to commit to long-term, Campaign's got a 3-year deal as well, but that's not much money. If that's their group, Cam Johnson, of course, will have to get a deal as well at some point, but that'll be much less money. That's not absurdly expensive. You just then have to be able to get guys in the middle-level exception or in veteran minimums or draft guys that can be your bench pieces, which they've already shown the ability to do with guys like Cameron Payne, with guys like Cam Johnson. They've already shown the ability to do that. So that's not out of the question for them. Ultimately, I do think DeAndre Ayton is going to re-sign on a max contract next summer, whether that is the Phoenix Suns outright offering that to him, or DeAndre Ayton not accepting any offer that Phoenix gives him, allowing other teams to send in offer sheets, and then Phoenix end up matching that offer sheet, which will end up being a max contract from some team, I'm sure. But ultimately, that's kind of the scenario I project for the Phoenix Suns long term. As far as Phoenix's front office and why they have not decided to extend DeAndre Ayton yet, I'm sure their hopes from a front office standpoint is that DeAndre Ayton doesn't show a more positive progression this upcoming season, or that he picks up a bit of an injury, his value goes down a little bit, and they can get him for a little bit less than a max, because ultimately DeAndre Ayton is not a max level talent at this point in time in his career, but ultimately he is someone who's going to get paid a max. So if you want to keep him, you have to give him a max. Example, Tobias Harris. He's not a max level player, But ultimately, if the 76ers had to keep him, they had to give him a max because someone was going to give him that in free agency. And it's going to be the same thing with Deandre Ayton. Not all players that are on maxes are max level players, but ultimately, in the way the NBA works, some players you just have to give a max contract to keep them because otherwise someone else will and they will leave. Now, Deandre Ayton is not happy with the Phoenix Suns anymore, but ultimately, as a restricted free agent, Phoenix can match any offer sheet that comes in and he will have to stay there unless he just decides to accept the qualifying offer and leave, which I find highly unlikely. So ultimately, I do expect Deandre Ayton to be a member of the Phoenix Suns long term. It's just not going to be via an extension today. As I have done in a previous video now early today, Deandre Ayton and the Phoenix Suns are not going to be agreeing to an extension today. That is a given. That being said, that is my thoughts on the whole Phoenix Suns scenario now with Landry Shamet extended, Mikal Bridges yesterday, and earlier today, Deandre Ayton and the Phoenix Suns extension talks falling through. That being said, let me know down in the comment section below what you guys think on the whole Phoenix Suns scenario. As mentioned, I will be releasing a video in a few hours from now talking about all of the extensions that have or have not been signed today on all the guys in this rookie class. So be sure to stay tuned for that. That being said, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Be sure to click the box on screen if you want to hear my Phoenix Suns season preview. That being said, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.